Dear students, it is the second part of the previous lecture, which is on population pressure and environmental degradation, in which we have discussed in detail about that what is the meaning of population pressure, uh, and how this pressure is ultimately degrading the environment. Uh, we have discussed that the increasing number of human beings and naturally the increasing needs have ultimately leads towards the situation of population pressure, because the natural resources are limited in number, and the deterioration or the qualities of the environment is degraded to a large extent by the human activities, ultimately adversely affect the all the biological community, including man itself and the environment in totality. So in the previous lecture we have discussed in detail about the deforestation, that how the deforestation uh, is affecting the environment, and because of that the loss of biodiversity and the ecological balance is disturbed to a large extent, and naturally the deforestation has created a threat to the ecological balance in all the living species, because all the living species are interdependent, and the deforestation has also affect the climate of different parts of the world, and ultimately it also affect the soil erosion, the floods. So we have already discussed about the deforestation. Today we will discuss about the agriculture development. This is the second point, and in this we will discuss about that how the agricultural activities have ultimately affected the environment, and as we all know, the expansion of the agricultural activities, uh, because of the cutting down of the forest and natural grasslands, and we have converted that land into the agriculture land. So because of that we have uh, unintentionally targeted some species which are living in different forests, and even some insects, some uh, friendly insects, even they were also killed by the human activities. So in agriculture development we have though make a very scientific development in the production, and for the development of the productivity of different crops, and particularly as you know that after the green revolution, because in green revolution we have used uh, the chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, and the different machines were also used, and expansion of irrigation facilities. These all activities during the green revolution have tremendously increased our agriculture production. So, but because of though the production has increased manifold, but we have also faced some consequences of this agriculture development, and because of that uh, the ecological imbalance is also created, and as I already told you that many such untargeted species we have killed in this process of development, and we have also polluted the soil uh, because of uh, the soil pollution, because the chemicals which are used in agricultural activities, both the chemical fertilizers and the insecticides and the pesticides, and the chemicals and their accumulation in the soil, and the sulfate ions, and that have degraded the quality of the soil. This high concentration of these chemicals uh, that also kill the decomposers and also disturb the ecosystem to a large extent. And this has not only affected uh, the soil, but it also polluted the water, because the nitrate and the phosphate, which were mainly used in the agriculture activities, they percolate uh, and contaminated the groundwater. And when these chemicals are mixed with the running water, they also affect the uh, eutrophication and leads to the kills of fishes and other bottom dwelling animals. So this is also an effect of the different usage of chemicals, pesticides and insecticides. Then we have the industrialization. Industrialization has also deteriorated the environment uh, manifold, and uh, because industrialization, particularly it is, though the industrialization was started during the industrial revolution in the European countries, but slowly and steadily the diffusion of these industries in different parts of the world, they have also created, and the problem which we can say, the industrial the pollution which is created by industrialization, and the expansion of different industries, because uh, we want to make the increasing requirements. We have to fulfill the requirements and the necessary goods we have, because the population is increasing, the increasing demand. Because of that, we have to set up new industries in different parts of the world, and in the name of economic growth, and to provide the comforts and the material which is required for that comfort, so we have to set up the different industries. So because of that, we have uh, again we have polluted the soil, as the different agriculture activities have polluted the soil itself, because the chemicals, insecticide and pesticide, and even the industries are they, the material which is left behind, it may be in the solid waste, that also affect the soil, and it may be in solid waste, in that the different industries, whether plastic industry, cloth, glass, garbage, construction debris, and packaging material, so all other paint, shoes, medicine, etc., etc. So these solid waste is also dumped in the open areas, and that ultimately affect the quality of the soil. And the open solid waste disposal is also affecting and inviting many diseases. So this is also another threat along with the soil pollution. Then what are the effects of industrialization as far as atmosphere pollution is concerned? So, because of the disturbance in the gases which are found in the atmosphere, so the chemical, textile industries, pharmaceuticals, and metallurgical plants, and thermal power plants, they are uh, uh, they are creating a havoc in as far as the air pollution is concerned, and ultimately it is also leading to the global warming and the depletion of the ozone layer, which is a very important layer in the atmosphere, and the acid rain. So these are the effects of industrialization. And nowadays, the global warming, the temperature is rising slowly and gradually. The carbon dioxide is an important greenhouse gas, and it is a very important gas, and to maintain the temperature of the earth. But if the quantity of this carbon dioxide is increased in the atmosphere, then naturally it will enhance the temperature uh, of the earth, because it the surface temperature, by permitting the solar radiation, reaches earth's surface and partially absorbing the terrestrial radiation. So because of that, the temperature will rise, and the temperature of the earth itself is increased. If we take the example of the previous 100 years, in the previous century, that the temperature rises up to zero point 0.3 degree centigrade to 0.7 degree centigrade, and the further forecast that there is a threat to the earth, and in the next 100 years the temperature may rise to 1.4 degrees Celsius to 5.8 degree Celsius temperatures. So when the temperature if the temperature of this earth will rise, then naturally we have to face many problems, in problem that many areas, because they see the level of sea will be increased, and the many cities, or even some countries will disappear from the map of the earth. So this is a serious threat to the coastal countries, and even it is not a threat for the coastal areas. Even the cropping pattern will be changed, the rainfall and other pattern will also be drastically may change because of this threat. The another important threat, that is the depletion of the ozone layer. Ozone layer, as we all know, that stratosphere in the stratosphere there is a layer at the height of 2022 kilometers, and this is a very important layer, which is depicted as the O3 gas, uh, which absorb the ultraviolet rays. And if in the absence of this ozone layer, naturally these ultraviolet rays will reach to the earth. So ultimately it will lead to many diseases, some cancerous diseases, skin diseases. So again, we must have to take care this ozone layer, which is a very important layer for the human beings. And the major threat to this ozone depletion is because of the certain gases, in which the chlorofluorocarbons in CFC11 and CFC12, it is a very uh, important gas as far as the depletion of this ozone layer is concerned. And it is mainly used in the air conditioner, refrigerators, and hair dryers and propellants, and etc. So naturally it is a very serious issue before us, that we must take care, and we must have to limit our activities to such an extent so that our survival may not be on stake. So uh, then we have another uh, pollution like situation because of this industrialization, because the different gases and the different particles, the pollutant particles, uh, they are in the atmosphere, and because of this large scale emission of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide, and because it is due to the burning of the fossil fuels, then it has a very disastrous consequences, because when these met with the water, converted into sulfuric acid and nitric acid, and when these pollutants fall along with the water in the form of acid rain, then they create many problems, not only the human beings, but even the monuments and the buildings, and the aquaculture, the fishes, and other aquatic animals which are living in water or even on surface. The historical and monuments and buildings, even they are at a serious threat. So this is another threat. Then we have water pollution. Water pollution. In water pollution, we there are different chemicals which are used in agriculture even, and even different industries. Uh, the left out chemicals, release of toxic elements into surface water, or in after the seepage they reach into the underground water. So different industries, it may be refineries or the mining activities, and even the leakage of crude oil or oils leaks on seawater, they are also responsible for water pollution. If we take the example of Kuwait Iraq war, and at that time uh, millions of gallons of crude oil was left in the sea, and because of that, a large number of aquatic animals, aquatic species were faced a very serious consequence for that. Again, we have many chlorine, sulfate, nitrate, and even heavy metals we have. So they all are polluting to the water. So, so this is also a very serious threat to the human beings itself. And because if we take along the urban areas, and the rivers, the canals which are flowing along the cities. If we take the example of major rivers in India, even Yamuna, when Yamuna entered into Delhi, and after that its color is right black. So disposal of untreated sewage, and containing of harmful bacteria, and even suspended particles, toxic chemicals, they all are responsible for the water pollution. So again, its effects is ultimately it reduce the fertility of the soil, and waste dumps are sources of food and shelter of rats. Even the percolation of garbage, waste, and toxic material contaminate the groundwater. Even the groundwater is also contaminated because of the spreading of these chemicals, and these chemicals uh, and its seepage in the groundwater water ultimately affect this. So then this if we take the example of Japan, that even the contaminated aquatic water, and the consumption of these fish, uh, even there are traces in the mother's milk. So again, it is a very serious problems, because ultimately it is reaching into the human bodies. So contaminated water ultimately leads to many diseases. Even maybe waterborne diseases are quite spreading in different parts of the world. It may be cholera, dysentery, typhoid, even jaundice. So they ultimately affect the lungs, and kidney, liver, and the thyroid. So ultimately it affects uh, the nervous system. So these are the major problems. Then we have the urbanization. This urbanization means when the pupils are living uh, in urban areas, and where the most of the pupils are engaged in tertiary activities or secondary activities. And in villages we have the primary activities. So naturally, in urbanization, because of urbanization, the population pressure is also increasing to a large extent in different cities, and the cities are growing at a very faster rate. And now in these days, in near about 50% of the total population of the world is living in urban areas. And in the next few years, this number is also going to be increased more than 60%. And ultimately, this rapid rate of urbanization will increase the pressure over the resources which are existing in the urban areas. And naturally, the more and more roads, streets, buildings, vehicles will be required, and more and more industry will be set up to fulfill the basic needs of the people. And naturally, that will ultimately again leads to the increasing urban waste, dust, smokes, aerosols, sewage water, and the slum area will also be increased. So, why this urbanization is taking place? We all know that uh, the availability of jobs are more and more in urban areas. Even the better education facilities, the universities, schools, all are set up in urban areas. So naturally, the the people from rural areas, they want to provide the better education to their children. So naturally, they have to migrate to the urban areas, or and again the better living facilities are even also a pull factor for them. And in different industries, the accumulation of wealth, so all these factors ultimately attract the people towards the urban areas. But again, the question arises that because of this urbanization, industrialization, uh, the uh, the air pollution, the water is already polluted in these areas, and even the pollution dome is created over the urban areas. And because there is a thick layer of smoke even, uh, and this ultimately leads the poor visibility. And there is again a serious threat to the respiratory system and another diseases like that. Then we have what are the effects of this? Nitrogen oxide is responsible for bronchitis and emphysema, and sulfur dioxide may cause even lung cancer. Then we have ozone at surface makes our eyes watering, burn, and even itching starts there. Then we have even we have if long time exposure to carbon dioxide, then it may cause the dizziness, and even death can occur. Then uh, then the another effect is that even the digestive problems damage the nervous system, even cancer in some areas. And the carbon dioxide combine with the hemoglobin of blood and make even bonding with it, and restrict hemoglobin to transport the oxygen to various parts of oxide to various parts of body, causes even suffocation. So even in metropolitan cities, if we take the example of India, then we have uh, all these four metropolitan cities, and this kind of situation can be witnessed. Though in these days we have because of COVID-19, there is a lockdown, and even the people who are residing in different parts of India, and even they are witnessing that in these days that there is no pollution, the level of pollution is quite decreased to a large extent. And even today's newspaper I read that a person from Delhi metropolitan city, he mentioned that in the night I have seen the stars. So this kind of situation that we can understand that how this these metropolitan cities or the urban areas, they are facing the problems. Then we have another uh, noise pollution. This is another serious threat in the urban areas and the areas which are having more and more industries. So, because this is an unwanted sound that ultimately disrupt the environment, which is ultimately because of the noise created by the different activities in the industries or in different parts of the urban areas. It may be motor vehicles, it may be aeroplanes, machines, even the loudspeakers in public areas, festivals, even during the elections. There are different types of noises, and even uh, the type of noise also changes. In the morning, we have different types of noises. In the evening, we have different types of noises. So, noise itself is a pollution if its level is quite high, because it can leads to hypertension. Even the high pressure can be there, and it may be a cause of anxiety, and even the efficiency of the work may be deteriorated to a large extent, and even the hearing disability may be witnessed in these areas. So it also affect, not only it affects the human behavior and the man itself, but even the animals and the birds, even the migratory birds and the animals, they are also facing uh, these kind of problems. Then the question arises that what are the solutions for that? Because ultimately the population is increasing, the increasing needs ultimately inviting us to set up more and more industries in different parts of the world. So the question arises that how we can make a balance in between our needs and uh, the population, that how we can, and the nature itself. So we have to ultimately, because there is a need of the hour is to we have the sustainable development. So ultimately, sustainable development means that we must take the resources from the environment up to that extent, so that we can survive on this earth. So then for that we must have to stabilize the population growth, because more and more number of people are increasing, and naturally that will increase the pressure over the resources. So and that will lead to the deforestation. So again we have to, because to fulfill the needs we have to deforest that particular area to increase the agricultural activities. So naturally we must have a balance between the population and the resources. So afforestation and reforestation, and if we have cut it down the trees in different parts of the world, naturally we must have to replace for that afforestation or by reforestation. Then the different pollutants which are extracting from industries or agriculture, and the disposal, there must be a pre-treatment all the municipal and industrial effluents, and naturally we must have to the organic agriculture. We must uh, because of the high usage of fertilizers and insecticide and pesticide itself is creating different problems for human beings. So we must take care that if we want to be healthy, so naturally we have to adopt such kind of agricultural activities in which we must have to use the biofertilizers or natural fertilizers, so that the level of chemicals can be reduced in our food grains. Then we have the proper management of solid waste, and the we must use the public transportation system, as we know that in even in small cities or even towns, we see that the vehicles are increasing, and because of that increase, there is a large pollution. In small towns, we see that the traffic itself is a major source of pollution. So naturally, we must have to take care all these solution, and above all, the adoption of eco-friendly lifestyle. We must have eco-friendly lifestyle. Simple living and high thinking means that whatever is required to exist ourselves, only up to that extent we must extract from the environment. So uh, the next slide, you see that what type of environment we want. There are two pictures. One is in green color, another you can see that. Now it's your choice what type of environment, what type of nature you want. So again, thank you, students. Thank you.